Hi friends, welcome to Evalvance Global's Financial Intelligence series. And today we are going to look at a very important topic for all of us when we are evaluating what kind of investments we have. So the key question for all of us here is, why should we diversify our investments across multiple types of assets? And if we have to diversify, then how do we achieve that? Because it is not good to put all the eggs in the same basket. This is an age old wisdom. So, how do we exactly achieve diversification? The key objective, friends, here is to understand what are the risks involved in multiple types of investments, and how do we minimize the risks, and how can we maximize the returns. So, what exactly is this diversification about, and why this diversification is propagated by many large and influential investors across the globe? So, the best way to learn with us at Evaluance Global is that if you follow these 7 pointers, the learning will reach to a next level. So, the first thing is, whatever we are sharing, do not agree, neither disagree. What you should do is, whatever the information which is being shared or the learning points which are being shared, evaluate those objectively. And once you understand it, try to relate those pointers to your day to day business situation. Look around and explore where these principles would find an expression. Then, once you understand the concept, try to apply it to either your individual situation or any business situation around. It is best to learn from own experience and insight. And lastly, it is also important to seek views from others. So, a best way to learn with us is to follow these 7 pointers. So, what is diversification of assets or investments? All of us know that we should not put our all the eggs in just one basket. Why it is so? So, let's take an example here. So, if you have certain cash or a capital available for investment, and if you invest majority of that particular amount in only one type of asset, be it gold, be it bank deposits, be it property, or be it stock market, that is equity, or be it in any regular income kind of a security, which is debt market, or just keeping cash. So, what happens if the major amount is invested only in one type of asset class? Then any risks which are applicable to that type of asset, that becomes the most important point for the investor. So let us look at various type of investments which a general retail investor or a normal individual or a family would be investing. The first point is about fixed deposits. While we are not saying that there is risks involved in all types of assets, one should look for, if they invest majority of their capital in one category of asset, then what could be the potential risk? That awareness should be there. So if you park majority of the amount in fixed deposits, then what are the likely risks which an individual is taking? All of us know that over a period of time, the interest rate across the globe and in India are decreasing. So as the major amount gets invested in fixed deposits of banks, you will find that the interest earning will reduce. Many times, as you're seeing in this picture about PMC Bank, that is Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank Limited, while the investors' money is there lying with the bank, they are not able to access the funds when required. So, in case there is any medical emergency, if the money is parked in a bank which is going bankrupt or subject to RBI restrictions, it will be difficult to access the funds. And in last 10 to 20 years, we have seen number of bank failures. So The key point is that if you are investing major amount of your wealth, it should not be just in one type of an asset. So fixed deposits have these three key risks of reduced interest rate, inability to access the funds when you require it most, and if the bank fails, then definitely there could be loss of capital as well. Now we look at so-called stock market or equity market. What if you park major amount in equity market or any funds which are investing significant amount in the equity market? In points of sharp corrections, when there is a deep downward trend, one may lose a significant amount of capital ranging from 30% to 60%, and the time which it will take for recovery could be phenomenal. And by that time, if your daily needs are at challenge, it will be difficult to meet those. And there is also at times a challenge of liquidity. What I mean by liquidity is that if the share price drops, then the demand for such shares in the market may also see a reduction, and a person may not be able to sell those shares at a price which they want. There would not be any buyer. In that case, one will be left with just shares in the demat account and liquidity will be impacted. Now, if you have major amount invested in bonds, debentures, or any type of securities where interest is a regular income and at the time of maturity, an amount will be paid. So if you are investing major amount in corporate debt, then one should be aware about companies do default when their business is not doing well. What default means is that companies will not pay interest, neither they will be repaying the principal amount. In certain situations, it may lead to delayed payments as well. Or if the company is going bankrupt, the loss can be permanent. That means the entire amount of capital that you have invested can get eroded. What about gold? Definitely, it could be a valuable asset in terms of emergency. But what are the various risks associated with gold? We'll understand now. Over last 20 years, there has been some improvement definitely in the price of the gold. But when you go to the market and sell gold, it's possible that if the prices are not in your favor, you may lose a significant amount. Second is if you are investing too much amount in gold, there is also a lot of cost to carry the gold. That means it has to be stored in a location. And then there is also risk of theft. The burglar or the thief may come and just take all our gold. And gold as an asset class also lacks regular cash returns. If you invest too much amount in gold, it will not provide you regular cash returns. And when you go to sell the gold or jewelry to a jeweler, you may find that you will not fetch the full amount. The jeweler will deduct the making charges from the value of this particular jewelry. So these are some of the risks which are associated with gold. Now let's look at what are the risks which are associated with real estate. If you are looking at investing majority of your wealth in real estate, a caution is that when you want to sell your real estate, you may not be able to do so if the market situation does not permit. So there will be liquidity challenge. And if you have already purchased a house or a property with borrowing, then there is a burden of interest as well as the principal of loan. Certain projects take too much amount of time to complete, and for that time, your money gets stuck with the developer. If you are looking at rental income from real estate, it is not significant as far as residential property is concerned. It could be slightly better if the investment is made in commercial property. And for capital to appreciate in real estate over a period of time in last 20 years, we have seen good amount of capital appreciation. However, that capital appreciation is not in the experience till the time you sell the asset. So once the real estate prices reach a roof, after that, gaining a regular capital appreciation could be a challenge. So, friends, this is not about not investing in a particular type of asset. This particular module is about we should definitely consider multiple types of investment opportunities when we want to safeguard or protect our capital. One can look at post office, government securities, bank deposits, corporate deposits, public provident fund, one of the best investment which is offered by government of India, mutual funds, of course exchange traded funds which are a proxy or an alternate for physical gold, stock market. So there are plenty of opportunities available for allocating investment in multiple types of assets. Now, while there are risks, there is also possibility of return. Don't just assume that whatever I've highlighted is only about risks. There are equal amount of greater returns as well in each of these type of assets. Now, while allocating your amount in a specific type of asset, what we should be looking at is what are your financial goals? What is your ability to take risks? Are you ready to lose some amount of capital? Then do you have adequate savings or insurance or backup today? How regular is your income? If you are a salaried employee, then your income is regular, but that would depend upon the job market, how your company is performing. Then what is your age currently? What are the professional qualifications you have? What skills do you carry? And how many members are there in your family? How many are dependent on you? So there are a number of factors, friends, which you have to look at while choosing a wise investment opportunity, which would be suitable to your goals. So these are the pointers which one should look at when evaluating a particular type of an investment. So what are those 5 important steps which you should apply after going through this particular learning module is, first of all, look at your current asset allocation levels. Check whether there is any major amount invested in just one type of asset. So if an amount is invested in just one type of asset, we call it as concentration, which is exactly an opposite of diversification. So one should look at diversifying. Then what is your current ability to take risks? Are you willing to take major risks? Then there could be different type of investment opportunities which could be made available to you. And one thing which you should keep in mind is there is always an alternate view. Should I concentrate all my investments in one category of asset or should I diversify? So there is no standard answer to this, because if you are selling something, there is always a buyer to buy that. Both of you have divergent views. That's why the transaction can happen. So there is always going to be an alternate viewpoint. In such a scenario, what we say is that investing and wealth creation is highly a personal choice. It depends upon the ability, the intelligence, that is financial intelligence level, the ability to take risks, the financial objectives, and many parameters for one to take a wise investment decision. So should you diversify or should you concentrate your investment? It is completely a personal decision, because for every view, there is going to be an alternate view. So what you should do is you should formulate or identify what are your short term, medium term, and long term financial goals. And more than the investment of money, one should invest time to study, because whatever your hard earned money, what you have, if you don't invest time to study, it may get parked or invested in certain investment opportunities which may not be suitable to your financial goals. So it is most important investment, that is investment in education, and what we say is financial education. So these are the 5 steps which we should apply. And before I close, there are 3 things which I want you to think over. Similar to asset, we should be thinking, can I apply diversification principle to income as well? What I mean is, Are you dependent today on a single source of income? So if you are a salaried employee and 90% of your income, monthly income is coming only from salary, that means there is a high concentration of on one source of income. So if you are dependent on single source of income or limited sources of income, then this is a time, friend, to evaluate this diversification principle. So what you should evaluate is it possible for you to generate a reasonable amount of passive income in addition to active income? So when you're earning salary, it is an active income because you have to go to office, work for it, and earn that income on a monthly basis. Without you doing anything, can still the income be generated? That is what we call it as passive income. So friends, these are three things you should think over. There are no easy answers to this question because investment and wealth creation is a highly personal choice. But these are the three things which you should think over a period of time. And if you have any questions, definitely you can connect with us and we'll try to provide the best response which is possible. So that's all for today on the Financial Intelligence series, where we are trying to look at certain answers as why diversification is relevant for an individual investor, how exactly to achieve diversification to minimize risk and maximize returns, and also a point to ponder or think over is that should we apply diversification principle to income as well? So friends, thank you for watching and do visit evaluanceglobal.com for more insight and more meaningful, high impact learning content. And I'm sure by going through our financial intelligence series over a period of time, the financial intelligence level will increase to a significant extent. So subscribe to our channel on YouTube, Evaluance Global, and please write to us at sb@evaluance.com in case you have any feedback to share or if you want any more clarification or information. So thank you very much and have a great day ahead.